It is June 1944, D-Day at Saipan. For hours, naval guns have been hot, big ones and little ones. For hours, bombers have snarled over the island. By now, nothing should still be alive on the beach. We know better. The Jap has dug himself in well. He should have. He has spent years doing it. The transports empty themselves of men and equipment. It is 0840, H hour. Medical companies and supplies are high priority. This is to be a bloody show. Shells hit the shore and walk up into the ridges and fields beyond. It's time for the payoff. The small craft rendezvous. The men are ready, their weapons ready. They go in. A medical company hits the beach and gets pinned down immediately. It has work to do. There are casualties as soon as there is ground underfoot, even sooner. This medical corpsman caught it before he walked 5 steps. Without the Navy overhead, it would have been even worse. Inland, fighting swells and moves toward the enemy. And men come back, carried from the field to a waiting jeep. The trip isn't long. This battalion aid station is immediately behind the front line, with mortar and rifle and machine gun positions alongside. The man without a shirt is a medical officer. It is suicidal to show rank insignia. Jap snipers are too expert as it is. Here, emergency first aid is given, and casualties diagnosed and tagged. Walking wounded are evacuated as soon as transportation is available. Next stop, the regimental aid station. The scenery isn't restful. That's Garapan in the background. It's in Jap hands, and it isn't too far away. The whole island measures only 12.5 by 5.5 miles. The regimental aid station is the unloading place for many battalions. This one has just been shelled and bombed. It carries on. The fighting moves up, and medical men move with it. Busy with casualties even before they are safely entrenched. At this battalion aid station in another sector, casualties are checked, additional morphine and sulfonylamides given if necessary, dressings reinforced, tags brought up to date. At every stop in the chain of evacuation, complete records are kept. A couple of hours after this scene was shot, Jap mortar fire wiped out this particular station and most of these men. Another jeep ride, this time to the collecting station, where patients are placed behind revetments and where there is more time for more thorough treatment. Outside the station, men stream past, moving up, going into battle. Inside, there's no time for rest. Fresh supplies must constantly be broken out. Casualties stream in. Staff men move calmly and coolly, hour after hour, the fighting hot all around them. Plasma and the ever-present flies. And again, the wreckers. On to the beach evacuation station, only a mile from the front. Amtrak shuttle out to sea and back again, evacuating wounded and returning with supplies and stores. Wounded, a Marine lieutenant still worries about his men. The offshore reef, a headache. It keeps all but small landing craft from coming ashore. Now, for the first time in any amphibious operation, it makes necessary an extra transfer of casualties. They must be removed from the small craft, bringing them from the beach, and loaded aboard larger and more seaworthy boats to take them to the ships farther out. Alongside a transport, the coxswain hails the deck that he has casualties aboard. Mortar fragment cases mostly, some burns and bullet wounds. They are hoisted singly in Stokes litters or swung up to the davits by the boatload. All transports take casualties in these early days of the fighting. Some have been specifically designated as auxiliary hospital ships. Get the wounded off the beach and out to the ships. That's the never-ending order of the day and night. On board, the emergency first aid room is a mess hall, a library, a writing room. Doctors and corpsmen examine and dress patients and move them on to either the operating room or to wards. Medical officers make no attempt to wear gowns. There's too little laundry and too much work. And the work keeps coming as days and nights pass. Casualties mount and mount again. still, press forward. Smash ahead. Get hit. Always there's the problem of moving supplies and more supplies. The water problem, constant and important on any front, is well handled. At first, it moves up in cans. After 5 or 6 days, distilling apparatus goes ashore. Keep it moving. Get it there. Medical supplies by the boatload come ashore and move forward. Use any means, every means, but move it up to where it's needed. The fighting is now days old. Combat fatigue develops. Here are a couple of cases after 2 weeks at the front under steady fire. At this clearing station, such cases get good food and are heavily sedated to ensure rest. They stay several days, then either go back into action or are evacuated. At this clearing station, too, emergency surgery can be performed and final destination of the wounded determined. If we say Saipan, we mean fly pan. Progress. Now we have a division hospital where cases not able to stand transportation to ships are brought. A mile behind the lines, it used to be a Jap radio station. We shelled it plenty before our men moved in. Now the Japs shell it. Next door is a Shinto temple with a Jap radio hidden underground, perhaps for getting in touch with ancestors a little ahead of time. We have another hospital, too, a Jap civilian hospital in the town of Sharankanoa. Only the windows suffered in the bitter fighting which flattened the rest of the town. There was, of course, a certain amount of debris to be swept up and shoveled out. Plasma from home. Whole blood from donors on the scene. Otherwise, there would be none. Also, life-restoring penicillin. The OR is not modern, but it's usable, and we have use for it. Here, work goes on 24 hours every day. Cheesecloth covers windows. At night, blackout curtains go up. Fresh air is no problem, but flies are. And dust. You can't keep it out of the OR, out of the wards, out of the food. But hearing the CO worry about it, the Marines try. They go out and come back with a sprinkler, made in Japan. It is used nowhere except around the hospital, around and around, hour after hour, day after day. It doesn't help much. Work goes on. Technicians set up wherever they can, always close to bomb shelters for staff and casualties. There is no malaria on the island, but there are some malaria cases here because some of the men fought previously in malaria country and now break down under the heavy strain. Doctors, corpsmen, patients do everything possible to keep clean. This one well is it, period. One of the hardest workers on the island is the one washing machine, which ran steadily day in and day out and then collapsed. Now, shore-to-ship evacuation is better organized. Word is passed for so many cases from each hospital, each medical station, to rendezvous at the pier at an appointed time. Ambulance trains form and head for the beach. This scene is not overexposed. This is dust, Saipan dust. From the new pier built on the spot, Army and Navy casualties are put aboard small craft. No preference is given. The Navy evacuates all casualties to the rear. The offshore reef is no longer a worry. A channel has been blasted through it. The hospital boat joins in helping to evacuate casualties. The hospital ship, dream ship after what we've been through. Ambulatory cases board her. Others, not so lucky, are hand-hoisted up. Carriers, too, are used for evacuation. Hangar decks are good ward space, and carrier speed means a fast run to Pearl. The smoke on shore tells where the fighting is now. Behind us, the more critically wounded in need of specialized care take a faster route. Army C-47s load up on Aslito Airfield for Honolulu, only 30-odd hours away. $18 to 20 cases can be accommodated aboard each plane. Navy Coronados ride at anchor in the bay, taking aboard more air evacuees, about 25 each. Fresh fruit and juices, a full supply with the skipper as stevedore. Saipan isn't a place to stand on rank. Everybody helps anybody, any way he can. That's how you stay alive. Destination, Pearl Harbor. A safe deck underfoot. No more dust, no more battle. Heading home. Here is cleanliness, order, equipment, and facilities we thought we'd never see again. Here is a fine staff of doctors to fuss over us, and nurses. It's enough just to be able to look at them, white women again. Here are haircuts and shampoos. Here are books. Here are ice cream sodas. Gallons and gallons more where that came from. Nothing ever tasted so good. Nothing. Here are restful days on deck. Beautiful sunlit days. The kind travel posters dream up. Clean, fresh breeze. No shelling. No dust. No fear. We get over feeling like dirty animals and turn into human beings again. That's what a ship like this does for you. We have been evacuated from the front lines of hell. It was done in the face of every danger, difficulty, and obstacle in the book, and it was done quickly, smoothly, and efficiently. This is the way it should be. This is medicine in action.